everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Abomination Goddess podcast. We are so happy to have you with us. With me, as always, I have Casie Halseth. She is the author of Abomination Born. It is a fictional portrayal of her real life experiences with the mystical realms. Her action packed book, soon to be books, everybody, is full of lessons, insights, and calls for other Abomination Born folks around the world to start connecting, which is what we like to do on our podcast each week. She is an award winning public speaker, and I think that you'll find by watching this podcast and reading her books that she just effortlessly draws her audience into her world, both in her books and on her stage. So, welcome, Casie. I'm so happy to have you with me.
Hi.
And my name is Ashley Kim. I am the author of Villainera Goddess. It is a book that I wrote to help women on their journey to set boundaries, build confidence, and to heal themselves. It is a very honest and open look at what I went through and the tools that I used to survive my villain era. I went through my journey alone and I wrote my book so that you wouldn't have to go it alone. So I will be riding this crazy roller coaster with you and screaming my head off. Yay! Awesome. And then our special guest today is Shiitake Mama. She is
Yay.
a pioneer mushroom grower who started cultivating shiitakes back in the mid 80s and went on to found Lost Creek Mushroom Farm. Along with her husband, she taught people how to grow mushrooms, and she has volunteered around the world helping to build thriving mushroom communities. Like, how cool is this? Through the Mushrooms for Wellbeing Foundation, she continues to champion the power of mushrooms for nutrition, medicine, and economic opportunities worldwide. Like, just the reach that she has around the world is so amazing. But mushrooms aren't the only wisdom that she shares. For years, Shiitake Mama has secretly channeled Shirley Grace, a group of spiritual guides in partnership with the mushrooms and other intelligences, working to connect with a person's higher consciousness to share universal messages of happiness, wholeness, and just relationships. This is so cool. And that is not all, everybody. Later in the podcast, we will meet Madame Tremella, Shiitake Mama's otherworldly counterpart, a Romanian psychic who channels messages straight from mushrooms themselves. Whether on stage, at parties, or in private readings, Madame Tremella blends her humor, compassion, and spiritual insight into helping us connect with the wisdom of the fungal world. Yes, she's amazing, and she is with us today. We are so excited. Welcome, welcome.
Yay.
Well, thank
Welcome.
you. What a great introduction. And I'm here because Casie came to a presentation that I did, an open gallery where I give people messages, stand up in front, it's like a presenter audience situation. And so she has been sending me your podcasts, and I've been really excited. I thought Heidi's last time was just amazing.
Yeah.
So I thank you both.
Yeah, thank you. We're so
Thank
excited for
you.
today. Yay. Okay. So we always kick off the show with show and tell. I am going to go ahead and share my screen. And Ms. Shiitake Mama here has volunteered to go first. Let me see here. All right. Let me know if you can see everything okay.
Okay,
Okay.
let's talk about the bunch of red ones first.
Okay. Oops, let me make it a little, I think I can make it bigger, maybe? Okay. I might not be able to make it bigger. I'm sorry.
Well, people can lean in. How's that?
Yes. Lean in,
You can lean in a
please.
little closer. Okay, these are reishi mushrooms. Oh, great. That's great. Okay, these are reishi mushrooms, and they came from our farm. Actually, we don't have a farm anymore. We moved our farm, sold our farm, and we moved into another house in the country, and we were growing on our property under trees.
Oh, wow.
So we cut logs in the winter, and we can cut now when the sap is down because of the heat. But usually we cut them in the winter when the sap is down, and then we drill holes and we inoculate these logs with sawdust spawn. We inject it with with holders, sort of like a syringe, but you do
Mhm.
it hit it with your palm and push it in there and then seal it with wax, and then it takes some time for the mushrooms to grow. And these reishi mushrooms, they're the ones that you're going to see when you have mushroom coffee. They're going to be the biggest and primary mushroom in there. because they are one of the most healing organisms on the planet. They are,
Really?
yes, and they're good for tonic for your whole body, muscles, bones, organs, skin. They are a sort of full service mushroom,
Mm.
like the foot soldier in the cavalry. Although sometimes if they're in big combinations, they can be like big cannons, and they are used in different parts of the world successfully in the treatment of cancer. And so that's a big bonus from the
Wow.
race. In Japan, the first primary, the first and primary form of treatment for cancer is a combination of reishi and shiitake concentrated extract, which is delivered intravenously. And they have the highest, first of all, they have the lowest rate of cancer in the world. And second, I can't say that for sure, but they have a 92% cure rate for all cancers. So
What?
this is an
Oh.
important mushroom. Uh,
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I don't know of any mushroom uh, physicians or people who are. That's not what I do. I talk to the mushrooms. I don't treat people with mushrooms, but if I could, I would.
Mhm.
Well, okay, now they're saying, well, yeah, you can. We can see how that comes up, but but these mushrooms are really uh, a strong point and a good starting point for not only treating sickness but also for maintaining good health.
Mhm.
Um, I want to read you what the reishi said. Okay, uh, they said we give reliance upon the root of self. We have ancient wisdom, strengthening the psychic defenses and strengthening the cells on every level. We are given to humans to transform the day to day activities into the sacred, to re energize the organ within the human, which creates spiritual progression in the cells you call the liver. Many walk your land, we see, who are poor in spirit, low in the production of the red blood cells, and have many allergies. They are pallid and weakly. We offer invigoration and resistance to many pathogens and inflammatory responses. Why wouldn't all beings wish to partake of our essence? We are so very useful, and rarely do we find a human who cannot accept our gifts, for we are easily consumed and easily assimilated. We do best, though, distilled into a liquid extract for severely ill beings. Although regular consumption of our body, just through eating or taking of our body in powdered form, is still agreeable and beneficial.
Wow.
We
That
cannot
was
eat this.
powerful.
Yes, yes. And this is the kind of information I get from the mushrooms. What they can do for us physically, what they can do for us spiritually, and
Wow.
they give us inner strength. They give us commitment, strength, and commitment in our strength of purpose. So uh, mostly you want to get them in powder and look for extracts, not just raw powder, because they have to be
Mm.
extracted. This is true of all the mushrooms. What does the healing is the beta glucans, and they are encased in polysaccharides, which are long chain sugars, chitin, like you have on beetles shells. So that has to be broken down by heat, by cooking, by extraction with alcohol or in hot water. And then you can get the beta glucans, and that's what does the healing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can buy them online. You can buy them in any health food store, and uh, they say themselves, and I have found that the liquid extractions are very powerful and do the work.
Okay.
I'll have to check that
Thank-
out.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, I'm making my list.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, they've been known for 3 or 4 thousand years for their healing abilities in China, and they are probably the most researched medicinal mushroom that we have.
Oh, wow. All right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so
I'm
cool.
proud to be on their team.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet you are. That's a good team to be on.
Okay, so now we can move to one that everybody knows.
Okay. Oh, I'm
The
sorry.
That's all right with me. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
The portobello mushrooms. And these are black on the bottom, as you see at the gills. And
Hmm.
then we have baby bellas down below, which is one of my favorites. Yeah. And I there is a man who I consider to be the father of shiitakes in the U.S. And he had I'm sorry, his name has escaped me, even though I know him personally. We were friends.
It's
Um,
because you're on a podcast. You'll remember it as soon as you
yeah,
get off.
and I won't call you at 2 in the morning. Um, and he told me that they were not actually a natural mushroom, that they had been genetically created in a laboratory. But other sources say that they were actually discovered as an edible mushroom and have been cultivated since the 1800s. So it doesn't matter which one is true. They're really good the way they are. And now they're all cultivated. They're grown in factories, and the reishi are grown in factories now too. The log grown mushrooms are always going to be more potent because they're eating their natural food and they're living the way they are in nature. And we know with shiitakes, research into shiitakes, that log grown have 5 times the medicinal potency of sawdust grown mushrooms, shiitakes. But they're all
Wow.
good. They're still good.
Yeah.
No, they're all good. Log grown are better. Okay, so now we're coming to the portobellos. Um, they they're kind of funny. They wrote a poem, and it goes. I have it right here. Portobello, a jolly fellow, full of flavor, like mushroom, like meat. Black bottom, tan top. Once you know me, you can't stop liking me.
I love this.
That's very good. And it's true.
Uh-huh.
And they're a very versatile mushroom, and they have a lot more flavor than the white button mushrooms, which is where we all learned about mushrooms with the white button mushrooms. We all started there. And the portobellos have more flavor and they have a meatier texture. And I want to put in a plug here for the white button mushrooms. They say that at one time they were the most flavorful and they were the most beautiful when they grew in the fields. But what has happened with cultivation is that they're not given their natural food, and they are given they are grown under such minimal nutritional conditions that they struggle. But they give everything. They give everything that they can give in spite of not having enough. And when people come to Madame Tremella for readings and they choose that mushroom, it is often the case that they are people who give too much at a cost to their own well-being.
Mhm.
And you're familiar with that, I know from your book, Ashley, about women who give too much. And so I want when I'm writing a book about the mushrooms from the channelings, and one of the outcomes that I hope for is for mushroom growers to grow better mushrooms. If they grow healthier, happier mushrooms, then we will all be healthier and
Mhm.
happier. So I hope that it has some impact in the work that
Yeah.
we're doing together.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
hope so too.
yes, thank you. One woman said, "Well, I don't want to eat these if they're unhappy," but they'll still give all they have. Okay,
Mhm.
here is what the portobellos say. We see we have connoisseurs of the finer things, and to those who relish living, we offer our services. We fortify in the human the sense of well being and rightness on their path. We direct the activities of the spleen and bone marrow so that the proper and correct shape and formation and amount of human blood cells may be produced. I'm going to interject here that I saw from a friend of mine who had cancer from the blood in her bone marrow where the blood cells were produced. I saw that shape and formation of the blood cells was distorted and badly formed, and that the clotting, the clumps of blood cells um, were uh, keeping her from being healthy. So I can't say that this is a treatment for that kind of cancer, but it would be a good research opportunity.
Hmm. Hmm.
We
Definitely.
act in the body as regulators of the functions so that the body may be more in touch with its own rhythms and timing. In the human spirit, we offer a grounding force which aligns the humans with their sense of wholeness and comfort. For those who are deficient in musculature or who are ill with wasting diseases, we offer ourselves as a means to allow the body to increase in solidity. We have the capacity to remove harmful fats from the blood, and we increase in the human the qualities of appreciation of life. Our color is strong and impressive, and yet we are of a gentle nature, as our emotional and spiritual healing gifts offer ease and calm, healing for the heart, and soothing to the psyche. The psyche is capable of fearful imaginings, projections of troubles into the future, when the present moment is sufficient. And in that moment, all is as it is meant to be. If it were not, it would not be. Worry and fear, misunderstandings, and holding with tight fists to misbelief create suffering that interferes with one's responses to what occurs in the moment. It is the mind that creates fear, and fear creates suffering. When I was doing
Wow.
a gallery, a woman asked about her husband, about her son, who was a severe alcoholic, and how fearful she was for his life. And this is what the mushroom said: loss is something that moves through and the person can recover. The fear of loss can be more devastating and rob one of one's joy more than the loss itself. Many fears come from loneliness and projection, and particularly the loneliness of separation from the all that is. In these times, love feels lost. Believing in the lack of love, of universal love, not the romantic kind, though that lack and loss are difficult too, but believing in the lack of universal love creates grief. We are soothing, as if one rises, lifts in heart and spirit as the mind relaxes. In this we are gifted, and gladly gift humans with the same.
I love
Oh, that's
that.
beautiful.
Now, and they speak of a healing, of healing that kind of grief and sadness, like when you lose a relationship or you lose money or you lose your job, to make a soup of root foods with portobellos and a tiny bit of red wine. They didn't say tiny, I said tiny, they said little, a little bit of red wine to temper it, and eat it with people you love. Make that soup and it will help relieve that grief.
Oh,
Wow.
that's beautiful. I love that you
Yes.
talk to mushrooms.
Yes.
Well, they talk to me. I
Yes.
ask them questions and they answer. And I'm just so blessed and grateful to do this work. And
Yeah.
I'm eager for my book to come out and share this information with other people.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to I think was that all you had for show and tell? I
Yes.
wanted to if it's okay, ask a question. Um
Sure.
Yeah, just my question was just getting into how you found your way to mushrooms, and I I like hearing everyone's their origin story with whatever it is that they're into and what led you to that. Sometimes it's something that directly happened with the mushroom, or maybe it's another person who inspired it, or yeah, I would just love to hear kind of how this all came about. And I mean, it's just fascinating, and I also cannot wait for your book.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And I love to hear other people's stories too. So, all right. So when I was little, I I don't know, in grade school, and both my parents were intuitive, but somehow mine didn't count so much, you know. And one time I said, "Well, what if Grandma and Grandpa are going to come here and surprise us?" And they said, "Oh no, no, that wouldn't happen." And, sure enough, within minutes, the phone rang and my grandparents were there. So, and asking us to pick them up at the train station. So that stayed with me. There probably more, but a lot of times I got, oh, you're making that up. Oh, you imagined that. So I didn't pay too much attention to it. But my father gave me a book on Edgar Casey when I was in the fourth grade. He did not realize that I was a really wonderful speller already. And he thought if I were to sleep on my spelling book like Edgar Casey slept on his spelling book, I would be a better speller. So that started me on this path, which stayed all my life. I read most of the books by him and about him, and I was just on that path. I was also in the theater. I started theater as a young child, which is good. I stayed with it all my life. And Madame Tremella, whom you will
Yeah.
meet, is part of that legacy for me. So I was writing in my journals, and I would get messages. And I'm an adult now, probably in my 50s, maybe even at the time that this happened. And I was at a conference of dietitians who um, wanted information about mushrooms. So I did a presentation. And as I was preparing and writing in my daily journal, this letter came through in a different handwriting telling me how loved I was and what a wonderful person I was. It was just so loving and encouraging. And I recognized that that was coming to me from someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I I was sitting on my porch now. I'm older. I'm in my 60s, and um, I'm writing, and all of a sudden there's this new handwriting that says, "Angels all around, beings of light, carols of joy, destinies fulfilled, energy is shifting." There's a whole alphabet of 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 spiritual guidance there, and I said, "Well, who's doing this? What should I call you?" And they said, "You can call us whatever you like." Well, I had no idea. So I just went on. And then I was thinking about the 23rd Psalm. And I was saying, "Surely grace and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life." But it didn't sound right. I knew the rhythm was surely da da and mercy shall follow me. And I had put grace in there instead of goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And they said in big handwriting, "You can call us Shirley Grace." And
Nice.
so then I was writing in my journal, and then I went to the computer where I could write a lot faster. And
Mm-hmm.
I only told two people. I was a
Yeah.
closet psychic. and
Yeah.
and as it turned out, well, you know how things come to you,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, you have it in your mind, you have it in your intention, and you get a little signal here and a little signal there, and here it is. Okay, so these things happened kind of simultaneously. I had a friend who died, and one of his extended family members wanted to talk to him. So she found a place called Sunset Spiritualist Camp in Wells, Kansas. It's north of Salina. And we went there to talk to him from the other side. Well, it was summer camp. So they had psychics, and they had healers, and they had all kinds of wonderful activities going on. Every psychic I saw, every seance I went to, they said to me, "You must develop your channeling skills." They didn't say it would be fun, it'd be nice. They said, "You must develop your channeling skills." And one person said to me later, "Well, you can do pretty much anything you want to in spiritualism, but you're not spiritual." Oops.
Mm-hmm.
Now comes an opportunity. My mother died, and shortly after she died, I became had high anxiety, had panic attacks, I'd have heart pounding, and I would suddenly be triggered by things I had no notion about. And it turned out that I had chronic and acute I had had chronic PTSD, and which evidenced in perfectionism. And I'm
Mhm.
afraid to make any kind of mistake. And then it turned out that after her death, I had these memories of really horrible things that happened to me as a child. And she did not commit them entirely, but she allowed it to happen. And
Mhm.
so I was in therapy for 16 years. And these little children inside me who had taken the pain and the suffering and the secrets and buried them were now free to talk, which is what happens when the corroborating parent dies, the person who also kept the secret. So now I'm in big, deep weirdness, as you know from your book.
Right.
Am I crazy? I'm crazy. No, I'm
Right.
not
Yeah.
crazy. I have x-rays that
Yeah.
tell me I'm not crazy, but I'm crazy. I think so. I'm going through
Right.
all this, and now I'm doing psychic stuff also. Well, I won't say anything because I'm
Mhm.
afraid of making mistakes.
Mhm.
So I start going to Sunset Spiritualist Camp, and I go there for 4 years, and I learn different kinds of channeling activities. And I don't say anything. I don't say anything. Nothing comes to me. I don't get anything. Don't get any messages. And so one day we're not in class, but we're at a friend's house having a girls sleepover. And finally, I get this message that says, pork chop, pork chop. It's written down here in tiny little letters, pork chop, pork chop. I said, I'm not going to say that. Pork chop, pork chop. I'm not going to say that. Pork chop, pork chop, pork chop, pork chop. And then suddenly I'm in the kitchen and I see a man in a plaid shirt and bib overalls and a great big frying pan. He's saying, pork chop, pork chop. And this woman said, that's my dad.
Really?
Message came. And then I was okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I have goosebumps. Yeah.
so
Yes.
so that started. And then the Christmas, we sold grow your own shiitake mushroom log kits, and Christmas was the biggest season. And I would start getting really nervous, in October. Am I going to have enough cash flow? Am I going to have enough help? Am I going to have enough inventory? And pretty soon it was happening in September, and then it was happening in August. And I would wake up with all this anxiety, go to bed with anxiety. So I went to a psychic, and she said, I said, what's the matter with me? And this one, it was November. It was November, and I wasn't depressed. I wasn't anxious. And I said, what's the matter with me? Am I depressed? Am I not interested in my business anymore? And she said, no, you're moving from your head to your heart. And you've done this enough. But
Hmm.
why am I have no reaction. So we move on, and she says, oh, just a minute. The nature spirits are here, and the mushroom deva wants to talk to you.
Huh.
And the deva is the spirit energy over whatever it is, plant, and in this case, mushrooms.
Hmm.
And she said, the mushrooms want you to tell people that they are tired of being used just for food and fuel. And they want you to tell people that they are also healers, which I knew, and they are spiritual teachers.
Oh,
And she had
wow.
Wow.
no knowledge of mushrooms. But 7 or 8 mushrooms came through, said their names, and said little tiny quotes about who they are and what they do. Oyster mushrooms said, "Oh, we are very good for babies. We are very good for pregnancy. When
Oh,
the baby is growing, we keep the baby healthy and a smooth delivery."
Wow.
I said, "Okay, sure, I'll do that." And I made up a book of pictures of mushrooms, and she would channel them. And she was uh, a full channeler. I'm a co-channeler. I'm aware when they're talking. I don't remember what they say, but I'm aware. But she was a full trance channeler, and she would drop her head and um, and start the tape machine, and then come up in the character of whatever mushroom was speaking. It was phenomenal. The first one was Agaricus blazei, and it's not really a hallucinogenic mushroom, but it is a mushroom that will shift our consciousness. some. It's
Mm.
not a dietary mushroom. It could be, but it's not, and it's not has not been really well known here. But that was the
Wow.
first mushroom to speak, and it was like it was extruding through her, and her hands came up, and she was saying, "We are our strength is too much for most people." Whoa!
Mm.
And then the next mushroom that came up, it was like it was looking around all over the room. "Oh, hello, human. Thank you for inviting us." Every mushroom had its own character, its own facial expression, its energy, its gestures, and some of them had differentiation in language.
Mhm.
Um,
Wow.
yes, it was just extraordinary. And a fellow offered to give me the material, the camera and things to film it, but I just didn't want to lose my attention to the technical part when
Hmm.
I had
Yeah.
those, 60 minutes. So, and this went on for some months until one day she said to me, "They're not going to talk to me anymore. They're only going to talk to you."
Okay then.
We're talking about the person who is really afraid of making mistakes. And I have never channeled anything. Well, I did it in Sunset Spiritualist Camp because, we're all students there. But I wouldn't
Hmm.
come out in the world and say anything. And finally, one time when I was at Sunset and we were in a message circle, a woman said, "If you don't do this, they're going to find someone else."
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I got on it and did that. And then uh, Patty Stice, who was a wonderful medium and palm reader in Oklahoma City, um, uh, encouraged me and invited me to teach her students. And she had a psychic fair, and three of us who were already channeling or giving messages. She said, "Come as Madam Somebody." And Doug, my husband, says, "Well, go as Madam Tremella." Okay, that was all good. And then I got a message when I was walking down the street, and I'm not auditory. I very rarely do I hear anything.
Mhm.
And this voice said, "You are the representative of the interconnected web of all being."
Oh,
Interconnected, like I said,
Yes,
the interconnected.
yes, yes.
oh my goodness. Yeah.
And so I made a fishing net that had crystals and little animals, stuffed animals, and tin animals, and rocks, and mushrooms, and had pictures of lakes and oceans and landscapes pasted all over my dress. And so when I came out of the bathroom, I'm sorry, from putting on my hat, which you will see in a moment, that has a
Hmm.
tremella mushroom on it, I went, "Hello, darlings! Hello, darlings!" And here it was, totally inside me. Whoa! I would not have let it happen had it not been for letting those little children who were in me speak.
Hmm.
Because the mushrooms, Shirley Grace, Madame Tremella, they all speak of love, of healing, of self love, of living in harmony with with
Hmm.
all of nature, with other beings, and nothing bad was ever going to come out of my mouth.
Oh, I just
Yeah.
love this.
I could have let nothing come out had I not had that experience.
Yeah.
So
That is so cool.
Oh
yeah,
wow.
here
That's
is another transition from abomination to queen.
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Yay. Oh, I love that. Oh, that is so powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
Oh my
beautiful.
gosh. Yeah. And I agree. Let those little children out. Let them speak, love on them, cuddle them, hug them, do
Yeah,
everything. Everything you can do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. At night, I wrap them to give them a nice warm bath, wrap them in flannel jammies and in
yes,
handmade quilt.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Oh, I love it so much. Awesome. Okay. That was so amazing. All right, sorry. Um, we will go back to show and tell for Casie and I, and then we'll give you time. Is
Okay.
that okay?
Yes. All right.
Okay. I'm
See
gonna
you later.
share my screen. Let's see here. Okay. All right, Casie, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
You want to go with the black tourmaline?
Yes. That's so pretty. Ugh.
I was at the Spark of Life uh, fair up in Manhattan, Kansas this past weekend, and Al bought this for me. It's black tourmaline on a copper base. It's a ring, and a couple different things with tourmaline. Remember, I've said that whenever I see a stone that has the formations in a line like that, that has to do with writing and
Mhm.
or sending out information. And so
Yeah.
for me it's and then of course black tourmaline is going to keep away bad things,
Yes.
definitely it's a good protector, but it's going to help me with my writing as well as a protection. So in case
Yes.
I'm going through a sensitive mode, like, oh, I'm not a very good writer, I have those kind of thoughts, which
Yep.
I'm not that great. I just have stories to tell. But
You are
this
great, by
thing,
the way, for everybody listening. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
it's the stories are important because within the stories I give instructions on everything that I know. And so that's what I saw when I saw this ring sitting there. I said,
Yes.
oh my gosh, I gotta have that ring.
It is gorgeous and it's on copper. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And then
Ugh.
she was able to fit it to my finger. So that was just perfect.
Oh,
Just
wow.
perfect.
Yeah. Literally perfect. A perfect fit.
And the other thing
Yeah.
I have is oh yeah, then the other thing I have is the tree ring.
Hmm.
And I was at all these different classes at this event, and one of the classes I was at, and then the second class that I was at, they had nothing to do with tree rings, but all of a sudden I saw a tree ring in my mind, my mind's eye. I was seeing the tree rings, and I realized that we and our lives are exactly like tree rings. So I wrote this little thing about tree rings. To look at life with all its ups and downs, like the tree rings of an old tree. Some years were better than others. The good years brought on lots of growth. The bad years of drought are narrow with little growth. We are like the rings of a tree. Our lives are marked with a pattern of episodes, some good, some not so good. Yet, like the tree, we continue. It is not until we are cut down that the patterns show the dance of life we have taken. And
That
that
is beautiful.
I just yeah,
You wrote
it
that?
was
Did
yeah,
you write that? Oh my gosh, that's
yeah.
beautiful, Casey. And right after you just said you're not good at writing. That
It,
is
it
just beautiful.
the the tree rings, you can see in this. I just picked this one up off of Google. I just
Mhm,
I just Googled in tree rings, and this one came up, and you see there's marks in there that
mhm.
are not very good. You can see that something bad happened to the tree, but it continued on. It
Yeah.
continued on, and
Yes.
just like Shiitake Mama was saying, as a child, things happen.
Mhm.
Well, all through our lives things happen, so we have maybe a skinny growth, and then we
Mhm.
have where people are nurturing us and things are good, then it's where it's a wider growth. It's just like the trees when they've had lots of nourishment, they have a
Yep.
wider, the tree actually grows more, and so we are exactly like the tree rings.
Mhm. We
I
are.
just love it. I just
Yeah.
love that.
Yes, I do too. Oh, that is so cool.
And that's all I
Yes,
had.
I love it. I just have a couple things. I am making my so some people call it witch's salt. I call it now goddess salt. Casey helped me come up with that name. But anyway, I have it's a coffee cup I use that whenever I burn herbs, I just burn it in there. And so then after a while, I grind up all the ashes and dump it into my jar. And then I add sea salt and Himalayan salt. And then I mix it all together. And this is the salt that I use to put around my house to ward it and things like that. So I made that this weekend with my daughter. I put ashes from any oh my gosh, incense or anything like that. So it smells amazing. whenever I'm using it.
Excellent.
So yeah, my 6-year-old and I did
That is
that.
such a good idea.
Yeah, and I will even with this jar just put the incense stick right in there and light it on fire and just let the ashes go in there while it's burning.
Even better idea. Yes.
Yeah. And then the last thing that I have here is I finally signed up to do an Akashic reading, and that's with Heidi Taylor.
Oh,
Um,
good.
and so I had to put my questions together. And first of all, I know nothing about it. It's something I've always wanted to do, but yeah, she's one of the first people I've met where I'm like, ooh, I want to do it with her. So I was just used my Oracle cards to kind of help me a little bit because I feel like I have a million questions. So what do I do? Anyway, but the ones I just closed my eyes, spread the decks out, closed my eyes, and put my hands over them to see what I got. And I have the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold, and then, oh, okay, I can't even read this one. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? And then I got hostilities. And I kind of cracked up because hostilities actually spoke to me more than all the other ones. So I was like, of course.
Of
Well, it was called
course.
me out a little bit.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, I'm gonna use these to help kind of comb through some of my questions that I have. And I don't know if you can see it, but on this one, I really liked this card anyway. It has like little snakes everywhere, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
like that symbolism and the
Me too.
lightning and yeah,
Yes.
so very excited for these. But yeah, I do that to tonight.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. Yeah, I'm so excited. Okay, then, yep, that's all I had. And now we would like to introduce Madame Tremella.
Hello, darlings. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for inviting me. And if you are here in person, I would say to you, please take some energy from this mushroom. That you put your hand on there and you feel the energy of the mushroom. And people, no one says, huh. They all say, oh, oh,
Yeah.
feel that.
Wow.
Yes, you can
Yes.
feel the energy of this mushroom. And by the end of the day, I can feel the energy from the people who all have brought their energy forward also. Yes,
Yay.
this is
I
a
love
Tremella mushroom. And I'm going to come closer so you can see. It looks like a big flower, but
it.
when you buy it in the Asian market, it looks like this. And it's all crispy, crunchy,
Oh.
and it falls apart. So it, you soak it before you eat it because remember, you're going to have to cook it to release the beta glucans on the inside, right? We don't talk much science over here. That's for Shiitake Mama. Over here, we talk spiritual and happiness and health and interconnection with all that is. Okay, so it in nature, this mushroom is translucent. It is just beautiful light passes through it, and it's one of its spiritual gifts is light. It helps us, we absorb photons all the time in our bodies. And so the light comes in, it helps us absorb more light, and it helps our cells take in that light.
Oh.
Aha, yes. And in the process of that, it raises our vibration,
Mm.
which increases our connection to the all that is.
Mhm.
Not just another pretty face. And they will say that too. They say, aren't we lovely? Aren't we beautiful? And another of their spiritual gifts is beauty. And it was in early China, there was a princess who was the most beautiful woman in all the land, and she attributed that to a substance like a paste that she puts on her face made of the tremella mushrooms, and eating the tremella mushrooms. It's good for
Mm.
the lungs, it clears the lungs, and it has 50 times its weight in hydration, which comes into our bodies.
50 times.
Yes, it is amazing. And so the Chinese eat tremella. I can't say that they eat it, but when we were in China, we had tremella mushrooms served to us every morning. And we also have a dessert soup made
Wow.
from
Really?
mushrooms. And I claim that this mushroom called me all by itself. We were in China in this hotel that they double booked our room. We had to move someplace else. So I said, okay, I want a place where people speak English. I want access to natural beauty while we're there. And so I get one. We go there. It is totally concrete. No one, not the one person in that hotel, guest or staff, speaks English. But next door is a sign that says spa. Now we have learned that the spas are really wonderful. They have different kinds of mineral baths. They have smelly stuff. They have massage. So we said, okay, let's go to spa. So we went up to there. Well, it's a women's spa, and it's this kind of spa that they do your face and they do massage. And get this, 2 hours was like $40.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. And so we need something, and the girl from there gets permission from her boss and takes us to the place that we can get these things. So now I'm obligated, to do that. And at the end, she comes out and brings this soup, and I know what it is because at a conference, the fellow next to me, who is a big guy in mushrooms, he says, "This is Tremella soup." How I even retain that is a miracle because of old and because we're eating all these different kinds of mushrooms. I don't know Tremella from anything. And so I eat that soup, and I am convinced to this very day that the mushrooms took us to that hotel where no one spoke English
Yes.
and where we
Yes.
have Tremella soup at the spa. And then, of course, we recognize it. We recognize it on the bus. So here we are. And I am very blessed to do this work. And if we have a moment, I want to read you some things that the Tremella said. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you. You are such a gracious host. And you are a good audience in this case. Thank you. Okay. They are an emotional modulator. I didn't know they had such big words. Isn't And easing of anger is also one of the gifts we have to give to ease the suffering of human anguish. A softening, if you will, as snow melts into the soil to reinvigorate roots and energize the growing energies of opportune weather and atmospheric and solar cycles, so we can assist the human emotional structure to relax its dry and brittle form. I did not put this together till right now. Dry and brittle form, metaphor, and prepare itself for the regrowth of its own beauty. Remember that our key identifying signals are regrowth and clarity. Some people say source in speaking of what some people call God also, and that is good for us as well. But that implies beginning and creation. All that is speaks to us of ongoing, no beginning and no end, everywhere and everything, every being, all space and all that is not space, all that is. And this we proudly and joyfully serve. Each being who expresses love, kindness, gratitude, and whose expressions serve the individual and greater good, the all that is lifted and served and opens the body and spirit to greater and greater love. This love comes from the all that is, and the all that is enlarged and intensified by each and every expression of love and service among all beings.
Wow.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yes.
Not just another pretty face.
That's
Yeah.
a really good way of expressing source
Yes,
Mhm.
without the limitation. Yes.
yes. And
Beautiful.
I'm so thankful for this because I've been working with this material as a writer and an editor, and I'm dealing with so much all the time. There are 27 mushrooms in this book,
Mhm.
and I might not have recognized the value of this So I'm so grateful for you having me here so that I could share this with
Oh,
all.
excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, I love it. Oh, what do you recommend for us getting into the tremella mushrooms more? Go straight into desserts or because I did hear you say dessert.
Well, yes, and I have a book. I don't have any selling of it right this moment, but that could change. I have a book on the tremella mushroom with its history and what it says and recipes, and you can certainly go online. You can buy this on Amazon. You can buy it at Asian markets, which I recommend because it's a better
Mhm.
price. You can see what you're getting,
Yeah.
and then um, uh, they you can also get tremella tablets because
Oh,
tremella can restore damage created by chemotherapy and
oh, sure, the cells.
kind damage to the cells, damage to the organs.
Hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
Now,
Yeah.
understand that there's some research that is comes with it, and some of it comes from uh, traditional Chinese medicine (TCM), and there's new material, new research all the time. Thousands of reports. I got to my doctor, and I said, "Well, I don't know, blah blah blah. I'm going to take mushrooms for this," and he said, "We don't know too much about mushrooms."
mm-mm.
And I
Yeah.
said, "Oops," I said, "You don't know too much about mushrooms."
Yes, right, right.
Speak for yourself.
I would if I win the lottery, right? If I win the lottery, these are things that I would do. One, I would put in mycology training programs all over the world
Mhm.
because there are plenty of people who want to grow mushrooms. They can grow mushrooms. The oyster mushrooms will grow on practically anything. I saw a picture in Paul Stamets' book. They're growing on the upholstered chair
Oh,
and they
Yeah.
really?
grow on agricultural waste. So anybody can grow them, but they can't get the spawn, the seed material to grow.
Hmm,
It's a very
hmm.
big problem. Um, and our project in Ghana, it's the problem is contamination. And when we first went to Ghana, and they had lost 60% of their production because of contamination. And they made progress on that, but then another source of contamination, and there are not scientists to really go and help them do that. And now that USAID is no longer available, I mean, we went there under that program, and mycologists went there under their program to analyze the problems. And so we need trained mycologists. They don't have to have big PhD. They just have to have enough to be able to recognize the problems and to know how to set things up. I say, you got to have a cleaner here. It's not clean enough. They coming in the morning with a wheelbarrow they have dragged through contaminating mushrooms. Whoops. Then they sweep and they put all the contaminants in the air.
Hmm. Yep.
So I say, okay, you sweep and then you mop and you do that at night and then you come in and you put covers on your shoes so you don't track in.
Hmm.
35% increase in production with those with very simple cleanliness practice. Okay, so that's one thing I would do if I won the lottery. What am I saying? The other thing I would do is I would put in spawn laboratories so that because anybody can grow, but they can't get the spawn. And that's true
Right.
throughout the developing nations. So that's what I want to see happen. I hope that my
Yeah.
book will bring attention and money. And I went to a psychic at Sunset, Rebecca Buchanan. I saw her at Sunset and she did a reading for me. She said, "Oh, this is just baby stuff. You got big material coming." So I got to get this one out, get the next one on.
Yeah.
And I have about 1,200 pages of material from Shirley Grace. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to
Your
That's
book is
wonderful.
gonna, yeah.
be woman.
Yes. I think people are ready. They are so ready for your book. Like it is gonna do so well.
Thank you. And mushroom mindfulness is rising.
Yes. My grandma used to say that she was an old Hungarian lady, and she used to say that all plants by their shape will tell you what they want to heal. And so the mushroom, if it's round like that, cells in the body are round. So it's going for the blood cells, it's going for those kind of things.
Yes, yes, and the wood ear mushroom, it is good for hearing. It is good for
Oh, it looks like
it
the
looks
shape
like
of
an
an ear.
ear. Yes, and they
Yes.
say that they are the history keepers, and that when humans were capable of communicating with mushrooms, others, all humans could, not
Mhm.
just me and people like me,
Yes,
that
yes.
they would keep the history of the forest and the animals and the plants
Oh, wow. Excellent.
if they're listening to all of creation.
We
Yeah.
went to a mushroom class here in the Ozarks once, and I didn't go to the class. My husband went to it. He wanted to do mushrooms, so he got the spawn from it and came home. And we have wood, and we've got lots of shady areas, and um, so we have now mushrooms growing here. And I think it's shiitake. Are they the ones that look like little trees?
I
Yeah,
have I have
yeah.
little trees. They are round on the top.
They're about this tall. They're about that tall, and they're kind of white color, and they look like trees growing up.
Oh.
That's the
No,
kind of that's the kind of
no, but
mushrooms.
you could be having oyster mushroom. Might look like that. Lion's mane might. I don't know that they look like this, but morels look like little trees.
Oh, that's the word, morel. They look
Oh,
like,
you
yes,
got
that's the
morels?
word.
You are growing morels?
Yeah.
That is a miracle. We try and try and try and try, and everything didn't make it. Oh, I applaud you and your husband. I want
Yeah.
to know where you
Every
got.
once in a while, our friend will come down here and he'll see a new morel come up and he'll take it and
Yeah.
cook with it and stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
the word.
wonderful.
I, I,
That is
I,
that's wonderful.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
and my
those sell
husband
for
is
so
this,
much
he's
up here.
gifted. Al's gifted. He's able if he thinks he can grow something. And that place where she was growing was a magical place. It was just a magical place. I saw all
Mm,
kinds of spirits and things there.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure
It's
they're here too. I can't get them, but I can feel different. The difference when I go into the mushroom area.
yes, yes.
And when
Yeah.
I wouldn't talk to
Even
them,
the air is different.
yes, yes, yes. And shiitakes, they bring joy. Their spiritual gift is joy, and they heal deep, deep, deep grief.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
So to go out among the shiitakes is just a heart lifting. Yeah. I
That's
went
so
out there
nice.
to when I wouldn't talk to the mushrooms. I said, okay, all right, I'll go. And I sat down with my pencil and paper. They said, we can do this. You can't write fast enough.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's so cool.
I love it so much. You just have so much to share. Oh, I love it. Let's tell our listeners where they can find you
Oh, yeah,
because they
right.
need to start following you because when your book is out, yeah, we all need to order.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So um, I'm at Shiitake. Shiitake has two eyes, but if you make it wrong, it will correct the computer. shiitakemama.com. And I am on the Facebook as Shiitake Mama and Shiitake Mama Messages from Mushrooms and also Madame Tremella. And Instagram is, I think it's the at sign, but I'm not sure, at the Shiitake Mama.
That's Shiitake
Oh,
Mama.
okay.
Okay.
And my email is
Nice.
mama@shiitakemama.com.
Ooh, I love that.
Thank you. I like it too.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being with us today. This has
Yeah,
been,
this was
I
great.
mean,
Oh, thank you. Thank
so
you.
much fun and so informational. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's fun for me too. I love teaching. I love talking about mushrooms. I love the mushrooms talking to me and giving messages to you.
Mhm.
That's
Wonderful.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
We
you.
can
thank
tell
you.
you are just, yeah, you are glowing. Yeah, you're definitely doing what you're supposed to be doing. This is so fun to watch.
My husband's looking forward to watching this episode.
Good.
You're one of his favorite people.
Oh, thank you so much. Whoops, excuse me. Thank you.
Yay, awesome. Okay. Well, thank you again. I hope everyone has a wonderful Wednesday and make sure to follow Shiitake Mama everywhere and Madame Tremella as well. Yeah, you are going to be missing out if you're not. So, yay, thank you
Yeah,
again.
thank you. And
Awesome.
I will be in McAllister, Oklahoma next weekend.
Okay,
Oh,
McAllister, Oklahoma.
Okay.
We will mention that when we send out our newsletter tomorrow.
Okay.
Sorry, just taking notes. Okay, awesome. Hang on for a second, and then I'm going to end the recording real quick. All right.